Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. Here with me today, I have a diamond in the rough I'd like you guys to meet. This here is Losini Maka, center out of Georgetown. Nice to meet you today, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I wanted to get a chance to meet this center, who's you know really one of the leaders of Georgetown, team captain, strong guy up front that the offense leans upon to get the job done. So, Sini, introduce yourself, man, so we can get started.
Hello, my name is Losini Maka. I'm from the islands of Hawaii, Oahu to be specific. Grew up in Eva, and now I reside in Kalihi.
Cool. Appreciate the background there. I think for most people, when they see the name, they know there's a Polynesian ancestry there somewhere. You got the Tongan flag there, which is kind of nice. I mean, I like you
Sure.
representing there. I think it's great. But hey, buddy, want to learn more about you and your story. Literally starting from the very beginning. Not like
Mhm.
when you were born or nothing, but like when you first started football. Let's start with that. So, how long have you played the game?
I've always been around the game for a while, but I didn't really officially start until my sophomore year of high school. So pretty late compared to other people. But I started in Hawaii, played at Kahuku High School, which is a pretty big school out in Hawaii. And then junior and senior year, I went to California to play. Just help with better exposure. Coming from the islands, you don't really get too many college scouts or college eyes really looking at you. It's a pretty secluded island as well. So I went there, and then I did a prep school up in New Jersey, Blair Academy to be specific. And now I'm here at Georgetown.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I want to figure out how this kid from Hawaii ends up playing for Georgetown. So this, path that you've taken, let's just try and wind through it a little bit and recap it. Um, again, was in Hawaii, started out in high school, Kahuku.
Yes, sir.
Football's big in Hawaii. We've seen a lot of great talent coming out of Hawaii. Uh,
Hmm.
I'm sure, dude, you got to be a fan of some of these guys, at the next level that do make it big. That come out of Hawaii from the Polynesian ancestry. Like, big fan of who growing up, man.
Man, I'm a fan of all the polys that end up in the NFL. But
Right.
man, I can't lie and say we don't have our stars of our own. Definitely have people like Tua Tagovailoa. Marcus Mariota was a big one growing up, and Manti Te'o as well. So we always grew up with talent on the islands. It's just so hard because this is such a secluded island, small island, not so many people. You don't really see too many eyes on them.
Well, yeah, I think sometimes when people think about it, I mean, they're thinking about these big guys up front. There are a lot of recruiting that happens from the islands. Uh,
Mhm.
Typically, Oregon gets all these big guys up front. Guys like you have to kind of take the harder path sometimes, man. I mean, you end up going the
Mhm.
prep school route, trying to get yourself established. But I will tell you, dude, when I think of Polynesians and Tongan history, I think of wrestlers. That's just me and my
Mhm.
background and what I'm a fan of.
For sure.
But bro, you actually have a pretty good wrestling background in your own right, but not the in ring stuff, but on the mat stuff, being able to take guys down. Can you talk about your wrestling background?
Man, wrestling might be the best sport to help with football and to just help with, gaining leverage or just better with body control. I truly believe if you're a lineman, whether that be defensive lineman or offensive lineman, you have to do wrestling. It's the best with, you know, knowing how to work against another body, one on one. That's mainly what wrestling is, and the hand fighting, especially. Being able to get control of your opponent. It's all O line and D line one on one. And that's what wrestling helps you, and that's what wrestling is made for. To help put your own willpower in to dominate the person in front of you, and that's what wrestling has helped me do.
I mean, dude, absolutely. I 100% agree. And so, Yeah, if you're a lineman, wrestling's awesome. Do it. It'll help
Most
you
definitely.
100%. Again, walking through your journey, starting there in Hawaii, going to Grace Brethren Academy in California, and then ultimately there at Blair Academy in
Mhm.
Jersey. When we're looking at your high school days, what's your fondest memory? I know there's a lot, and it's a lot to choose from.
Yeah. Wow.
But what's maybe one of the
Man.
lasting moments that you have looking back on things?
If I don't want to go too far and say like, just graduating high school, a lot of people don't know this in Hawaii, but people take graduations over there very seriously. I remember as soon as I graduated, we had fireworks going off, and a lot of leis. You get covered up from the neck up with leis, and just gifts of candy, money leis, those things from family members, and you always have a big celebration, and it's something that I don't really see that much out in the mainland. But man, in Hawaii, we take graduations pretty seriously. So I'll probably say that's one of my fondest memories. Graduating in front of family and just like a big celebration just amongst everyone.
Yeah, dude, I didn't have fireworks and ton of lays like when I, graduated high school. So that certainly sounds like a whole lot of fun.
For
Um,
sure.
so you end up at Georgetown. How was the recruiting process, and really what sold you on that school versus somewhere else? Can you kind of talk through that process?
Mhm. What really sold me was my head coach, Coach Scar, and my recruiting coach, Coach Spence. They really emphasized like, yeah, football could be such an amazing thing that you can deal with, but your life after football. They really talked about how the academic side of it, the academic portion of it, of Georgetown. Me personally, I never really heard of Georgetown until I came out here in Hawaii. Being far, far away from the East Coast, you don't really hear a lot about anything over here. And when I really heard them talk about it, just like football could take you so far, but your academics and your brain could take you even further. And another thing that also sold me was they had Polynesians out here already. There was a Polynesian pipeline at Georgetown to begin with, and that's what really made me want to come here even more. It just felt like home. It was kind of like a home away from home, if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. I hear you. I have seen a handful of Polynesian guys on their roster.
For sure.
It's often really, now that I think about it, there have been guys, in subsequent years that have gone through that program.
Mhm.
So awesome. So when most people think about Georgetown, if they're not thinking about basketball, they're thinking about academics, man. I mean, because obviously, a high academic institution. What have you been studying during your time there?
I study psychology, and man, oh man, I can tell you that it is a lot more difficult than you may think. Um, I really wanted to do psychology just because, you know, you're dealing with a one-on-one person, seeing how people can act, seeing how people can tend to act in certain situations and, sort of like tells and whatnot, if that makes sense. And, just knowing how people can think is a big reason why I decided to choose it. It's just so interesting and so profound. Like the more you get into psychology, like, the more interesting it gets. Why people act in a certain way. Um, what situations are they put in that make them like act or talk or whatever, do whatever in that certain scenario. So that always stood out to me.
And you figure at least some of that mentality has to carry over to the football field.
Oh, for sure, for
Trying
sure.
to get inside the head of the guy in front of you. Maybe try and figure out what they're trying to accomplish so that you can best them at it, of course.
Most definitely, most
Um,
definitely.
Talk a little bit about your experience with that offense. Describe that offense there, at Georgetown.
Mhm.
Obviously, you being the leader there, snapping the ball, being the center. But talk about your overall experience, if you don't mind.
So Georgetown offense as a whole, we're a run first type of team. We definitely want to pummel our defense, with the run first. And in doing so, that opens up the air raid. If people are always expecting the run, 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 they're gonna forget about the pass situation. And I feel we are pretty balanced in total, but with having such a prominent run scheme, it helps us be balanced by opening up the pass situation way more. And in total, like that just shows how much things we can do as offense.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at what you guys have been able to accomplish, sometimes you are seeing you guys, establishing the line of scrimmage early with the run game. But that doesn't mean you guys can't air it out. I mean, you do have a decent quarterback who's helping to, make things possible there so that you guys can make
For
plays
sure.
through there. So, it's kind of nice watching that. Um, let's talk about you as a player. What are some of your best traits when we look at you? I mean, again, you're a center, and so we expect a
Mhm.
guy who is a formidable player, who could certainly snap the ball well. But talk through some of your strengths if you don't mind.
I'll probably say a big strength that I have is my athleticism. Um, I feel like I have a really great first step off the ball, and that initially just helps me to be able to reach or get to the second level a lot easier, a lot better than you know most other people in my position. Um, I'd also say my strength. You know, I'm a pretty good bench and squatter type of guy, so that definitely translates. And I'll say a big thing is my leverage. Since I wrestled, I have a wrestling background. It helps me with body control, knowing what weak points in the body to hit to be able to move offensive linemen, on a defensive lineman. I mean, and just the hand fighting that helps get off and replace my hands. Um, and I say at the end of the day, it's that conditioning through wrestling, making it nonstop, ruthless aggression. Keep going at the defensive lineman, the defense over and over again. And that's the one thing you learn from wrestling is making the other person quit before you do. And I feel like that's the background that I come up with and I bring to the table.
I appreciate some of how you describe that, like the aggressive nature, of course, and
Mhm.
of course you want to be the guy who pushes a man against his will. There's not much better feeling than doing that, right?
For sure.
But we are looking at a guy who can hold his own in the trenches, a guy that does possess some solid strength. We're looking at a 400 bencher, we're a 600 squatter. And I know that you're still growing and getting better at that and improving. So numbers like that uh, do allow you to compete with almost anyone, which is good. Um, Also looking at a team captain there for Georgetown Hoyas, and that definitely comes with its own, acknowledgement, of course. What does it mean for you to be, one of the team leaders there? Can you talk through you as a leader, maybe your leadership style?
um, I would definitely say it's you know everybody has a say in it on the team. Just because you're a leader or a captain doesn't mean you necessarily have a voice over someone or a voice over a freshman. It's definitely the type of like everybody is a collective group. At the end of the day, we're a team. No matter who you are, you could be the best player, but if you don't have those 10 other people with you, you're not going to win any games. So I definitely feel like a leader is someone who can bring everybody. Um, Definitely someone who can rally up their troops. And I say a leader is best explained by leading by example, rather than leading by voice. If that makes sense.
Makes
And
sense.
that's the type of leadership that I try to bring in. Just like someone who's willing to do whatever he says first, so that you can see me do it, and then you're like, oh, okay, maybe I should be doing that as well, rather than someone just yelling and barking orders. So in my opinion, that like the latter works a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, setting the example, of course, speaks volumes, right? And so that's what you bring to the table. Do you want to talk about some of your highlights, and of course, give you the ability to talk up some of the teammates around you. I want to talk up, some talk through some of last season before we get to this season. This season, of course, we are going right now. You guys are 2-2. So still a lot of games to be played there in the Patriot
For
League.
sure.
But let's kind of reflect a little bit on the 2024 season. I do want to kind of go through
Mhm.
some of those games, which we're actually seeing a lot of that replay over again this year, which is good. And so I want to start from the beginning, really. Last season you dominated Davidson. You did it this season
Mhm.
too. Um, and the way in which you did it last season is really what I want to reflect on because even with a team who is very run heavy, you guys were
Mhm.
able to go out there and really dominate the line of scrimmage and get it done better than them, actually. And so go
Mhm.
ahead and talk about that matchup because, I mean, I know there's a brutal, grueling matchup against teams that are really trying to dominate the run. So, any memories you have from that game?
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, dominating the line of scrimmage is, where the battle's won. That's what my coach, my online coach, always stresses to. Like, we don't win the game unless we do our job as offensive linemen, and that's displacing D linemen, working to the next level, fitting up, and that's the thing that we brought to the table against Davidson last year. There was a lot of wide zone plays that I had against Davidson where instead of just tapping them or like just gently placing my hand on them, I had to go and displace the D lineman all the way to the next gap so it can open up lanes for my running back to just run through. Um, I've had a lot of plays, a lot of our wide zone plays where I'm fortunate enough to be able to pull on a lot of them, and that just helps and showcases my athletic ability to be able to pull and get out into space and you know cover a linebacker in open field, which I think is a pretty hard job to do, but that's something I'm willing to do and to work on so I can help my team get better and better.
I mean, definitely as a center, athleticism speaks volumes. If you are, quick, have a lot of agility, it certainly helps. I mean, especially like as you had mentioned, you know, having to pull, having to move from your spot so you can get to the guy, get to your block, and just kind of move the ball down the field, get to the second level, and just kind of move them against their will. It just seemed as if you guys had their number both last year and this year. Were able to really dominate that line of scrimmage. A
For
lot of
sure.
good teammates around you, of course. We do want to acknowledge some of them, but I
Oh,
also
most
want
definitely.
to, talk about like another game where it kind of is like the other side of the coin, where you guys are able to really dominate through the air. That, of course,
Mhm.
with Davidson, took care of things on the ground, establishing the run. But I do have a game here that I want to talk through. You guys had a great game against Columbia where your quarterback was able to distribute the ball
Mhm.
very well and you guys were able to move it down the field. So, can you kind of walk me through that matchup?
Yeah, like you said before, I have outstanding teammates. I personally don't believe we are winning those games without the amazing talent of my teammates. We have an amazing wide receiver core, led by Jimmy Kibble and Nick Dunnerman. They bought out that game. I feel like the DBs could not cover them for any time. And you know, my brother's right next to me. You had my guards and my tackles. Everybody on the line was really honed in on doing their job and giving enough time and space for our quarterback to just thrive and nourish in that environment. And at the end of the day, that's what it all boils down to. Like I said before with my coach, like he said, we're not winning this game unless we do our job. And I'm not gonna lie, with the people right next to me, we did our job. It was a tough, gritty game. I'm not gonna lie. But I had my brothers in arm like Kaysen. I had other people on the line. Trevor, Mosiah. You know, we had Josh Sawicki. Those are like all those people all coming together and helping me. You know, lead the line to push forward and ultimately beat Columbia. Like it was a tough game, and it was a tough gritty game because it is a rivalry game at the end of the day. But those people right beside me, I feel like I can't lose.
Definitely giving your quarterback enough time to work, almost 300 yards through the air. And those guys that you mentioned, and Kibble and Donovan, both over 100 yards in that game.
Hmm.
Some playmakers there to make it work
For sure,
for your
for sure.
offense. Certainly some guys to keep in mind as we're paying attention to Georgetown Hoya football. Again, just mentioning this season, it's still up in the air, man. A lot of games to be played there in the Patriot League, so we'll see how it will eventually, come out. But some good matchups ahead of us to
For
look
sure.
forward to. Here's hoping the best for you guys this season.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Want to get a chance to meet Losini a little bit more off the field, if at all possible. We've learned some about you, your culture, heritage, your background as a wrestler, but I want to learn more about your personality, dude. So give me something more about you that we have yet to learn. If you have any, I don't know, neat hobbies, fun facts, special talents, talk to me, man.
um, I say I'm a man of many things. I just picked up an instrument just the other day. Uh, it might sound surprising that I just learned it because being from Hawaii, but I just learned to play the ukulele, or I call it the uke, but a lot of people like to call it different things.
Know exactly what you're talking about.
Um, and it was surprising to me because a lot of people when they find out I'm from Hawaii, they're like, "Oh, you must know how to play the uke."
Hey, you're born to
And
play the uke.
I, yeah, so I learned how to play that recently. I just picked that up. I just learned how to fish as well. Yeah, crazy. One of my
Polynesian
teammates.
that can't fish. I mean, come on, you got to turn in your Polynesian card if you can't fish, man.
That's why I feel like I picked it up pretty quickly. First time I went out there, I think I caught two or three catfishes. So I feel like we're doing pretty well. Um, I say I really like to watch some shows. If that makes it, I like watching shows more than movies. Um,
Okay,
I
okay.
don't know if you heard about this, but I like watching anime. And like some
Okay.
anime tends to teach you certain lessons, and obviously it's a good cinematography, good animations, good
Oh yeah.
storyline.
Um, I,
Yeah, and it just keeps you hooked throughout the whole time. So I feel like that's another thing I like to do. Um,
okay. Well, let me feed off of some of that and maybe ask you a few more questions again, just for fun. So,
for sure.
I didn't know about some of these things. So, I mean, I think it's kind of fun to learn about you, uh, trying to pick up fishing and the ukulele and all this other stuff. But you'd mentioned anime. What is your favorite anime, man? I mean, most guys who I talk to are big Naruto guys.
I used to be a big Naruto guy growing up, but my favorite one is One Piece. It's about like a pirate crew, and yeah, they go through a whole lot of emotion, a lot of lessons that are learned, and at the end of the day, it's just like a funny, a good journey to follow through. So I say like it encapsulates everything that you want in anime
Good action, great story, great
for sure.
it's just fun to watch. I know I'm with you. It's all good. A couple more questions to ask, and I don't know how you're going to take this, my man, but does pineapple belong on pizza?
Man,
I
me
don't know if
personally.
you hit from like some family, and that's the reason why I asked.
I personally think pineapple belongs on pizza, and I feel like the people who don't say it belongs on pizza haven't really had good, you know, really had good Hawaiian pizza. I think it works. I think the sweet and salty combination really works together. But everybody's entitled to their own opinion, even though they're wrong. But I think it belongs on pizza.
No, it's fine. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there because some people are like, no, like completely not. But maybe they just don't have developed taste buds. Maybe they've never
For sure.
tried it. You know, sometimes you get like bad pineapple. I've had that before. So I mean, it really depends on, where you go, I suppose. But, certainly a lot of factors in play there, right? Um, uh, Hardest class that you've had during your time at Georgetown?
That's the easy one. It's probability statistics. Um, it's a hard one. And that comes from me being a math guy myself. But I didn't think it could get that hard in math. I'm not saying I did bad in it, but it was definitely a grind. I had to, show up to office hours, really talk to the TA just about help, and we got through it. We got through it pretty well. But for those, for that semester, it was a pretty hard one. But at the end of the day, it taught me lessons of like, if you just put your head down and just grind through that work and really like hone in on what you're learning, you'll get through it.
Yeah, man, perseverance definitely. Just a side note for people, I'm a math dude. I'm big on numbers. I see the matrix. I had a stats class when I was in college. Didn't really do well in it, and it was mainly because it was an evening class. Like, dude, I fell asleep half the.
Mhm.
Are you a morning or a night guy?
Ooh, I would say, man, I would say I'm a morning guy. I like getting my workouts done in the morning. Get it out of the way. And because like nighttime for me is just times to wind down, relax. So I'd probably say I'm a morning guy.
Cool. That works. Got to be a morning guy, as an athlete who needs to get
Sure.
the work in early, of course. Um, uh, favorite, I guess, favorite cheat meal
Man, I'll probably say that
other than
Taco
the
Bell.
Hawaiian pizza.
Oh, yeah, I'll probably say Taco Bell is a good cheat meal. A good little like Crunchwrap Supreme beefy 5 layer. Never hurt anybody. So Taco Bell is a pretty good cheat meal.
At least in the beginning. Maybe further down the line, it
Yeah,
might
yeah,
hurt
for
you.
sure.
But there when you're young, you can take it. That's certainly,
Most definitely.
pick up a little bit of protein, help you out, in a pinch. So cool, man. It's been fun just kind of chit chatting with you, dude. Obviously, we're talking for with you because you're a player in the Patriot League, playing for the Georgetown Hoyas, starting
Mhm.
at center. Got a lot of experience at center. Um, so some scouts probably coming in to see these star wideouts, really, but along the lines, they're going to see you too. And so
Mhm.
as we kind of close up our time, I want you to kind of try to talk to them directly, tell them about you, what you bring to the table as a player, and close with any final thoughts about people who might doubt your overall skills as a player.
Mhm.
So close with any final thoughts.
I'll probably say the reason why I believe, I'm better than a lot of people perceive is, my adaptability. I can be put in any situation and come out of it, knowing everything. You know, scheme wise, you could put me in anywhere. With Georgetown as our offense, we have a really diverse and balanced offense that we run. So, I'm good at both the run game, power game, pass pro. I feel like I'm a man of many talents. And, where I come from, my background is, hard nosed football. With wrestling is always about body leverage, knowing how to win on a inside run, on an outside run. I feel like I have a man of many talents, just athletically speaking, um, and I believe when it comes to being a teammate, that's where I excel at. The most. I'm I feel like I have love for the people I play next to. I love for the people I block for, running back and quarterback included. My wide receivers as well. And I'm willing to put everything on the line, to protect my brothers in arms. So that's why I feel like I'll be a good fit anywhere I go.
Yeah, I mean, you do bring a lot to the table. Like when we look, again, we kind of start from the beginning. We started from a guy with a strong wrestling background, who has utilized that through his years as an offensive lineman. Strong leader there on the offensive line and team captain. Ability to, be effective in both the run game and pass game. Very quick off the line, able to, hit his mark and be very effective. So here's to say you guys can't, make some noise in the Patriot League and, shock some people when it's all said and done. But we're looking at a guy who takes pride in what he does, man.
For
And
sure.
I just want to, wish you all the best in your endeavors. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Sure thing. Once again, I got Losini Maka, center out of Georgetown. Check him out.
Yes, sir.